Good? Perfect.
Merry
Thanks
Christmas.
again, Santa. See you next year. I will.
I will.
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Saturday, and you know what that means? It's time for all the action figure news of the week that interested me, that hopefully interests you. It is the toy news, action figure news of the week, and we're getting dangerously close to the holidays, so time to break out my finest holiday sweaters this time of year. So you'll see a few more of these in a couple videos we have as the year ends, of course. And today we're repping the old Black Label Society, and how about old Zach Wild? Follow him on Instagram for sure. Of course, he's on the Pantera tour right now, but he is having the Ultimate Warrior riding shotgun in a lot of reels and videos on his Instagram. So if you enjoy the Warrior, check out those videos. Cheap plug for old Zach Wild. Not like he needs them or anything. But we're here to talk all the toy news of the week, and we're going to start with a little bit of housekeeping at the top here, of course, as we always do. Patreon, don't forget the December Patreon giveaway. A lot of early access to videos, bonus videos, a Q&A coming up for only Patreon members. A lot of stuff over the Patreon. Of course, early access to the toy video of my whole action figure collection, my whole house tour. That has been up on the Patreon for about a week or so. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the Patreon. But cheap plug for the Patreon, of course, the December giveaways, Pimp Daddy Destro and the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes figure set. Two winners this month for the month of December. So if you're into that, check out the Patreon link in the description below. Well, let's get after it, and a couple of hot deals out there. Of course, Entertainment Earth still going with the hot deals. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10% on all in-stock items. This week I got that RC G.I. Joe. Usually it was like $50. It was the Vamp, but it was remote control. It was normally $50. They had it for $12.69. Saved 10% on top of that, of course, but it also shipped free. Man, got to get a deal all day long. At that price, I couldn't turn that one down. More on that in weekly purchases next week when it finally does arrive. But a lot of deals going on over at Entertainment Earth, and even more deals going on over at Ringside Collectibles right now. It is Cyber Monday, I guess Cyber Sale 4.0. Do I hear 5.0? I don't know, but they are running out of a lot of stuff. It really is turned into let's empty out the warehouse at Ringside is what it feels like. Maybe they'll refill it back up in January, I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff on endangered lists, your last chance. Speak now or forever hold your peace, but a lot of deals over there, and as usual, save 10% more with discount code Kyle. So there's a little housekeeping out of the way. Let's start into all the toy news this week. And it was a busy toy news week. Not as busy as some weeks, but still very busy for the holiday season where we're at. But let's kick it off, and let's kick it off with some wrestling. Let's kick it off with some follow-up to last week's video. Hopefully you guys watched the toy news last week, where I went in depth with my thoughts on the AEW Jazzwares line. A lot of people saying this line is dead. We haven't had any pre-orders. We haven't had any of this. Well, follow up on that this very week on the channel. Check all these videos out. We unboxed Sting and Darby Allin. We unboxed Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. We unboxed the 1 of 3,000 Shida. We unboxed a lot of different AEW stuff. The Thunder Rosa Blood and Guts, we unboxed that. So there's still a lot of product coming. We might have a little bit of a lull, but as I said, I think everything is okay. I think people are sounding the alarm way, way too soon. But one of the big things, and we didn't talk about it too much in video last week, was where is Jeremy Padawer? That's what a lot of people are saying. Why isn't Jeremy talking on social media about the Jazzwares line? Why isn't he promoting that? Well, it's just one of those things. I don't know if you could really get into the mind of a business guy, a CEO, whatever his official title is there, because most of the time, a lot of CEOs of toy companies, food companies, you don't see them on social media really talking insides of the brands, talking about, oh, he loves this, oh, this guy's toyetic. You don't see a lot of that from any company anywhere outside of major stuff that's kind of vetted through lawyers and stuff. So we are really lucky to have a guy like Jeremy Padawer that's out there vocal with the fans talking. But the minute you don't say something, people think something's wrong. So you can't win. You really lose. It's a lose-lose situation. And he hasn't been talking a lot about AEW, hasn't been saying a lot, but he's been promoting Pokemon. He's been promoting some of the other things. And we got to be honest. You got to take that step back. And I think a lot of people think Jeremy only does AEW. He's a part of a ton of different properties. He's got his fingers in a lot of other stuff. So AEW might be near and dear to his heart, something he loves in wrestling. But his pocketbook, probably loves Pokemon and Squishmallows a heck of a lot more, is my guess. So I think he's probably been busy with stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe he's been on vacation. But no news isn't necessarily bad news, I would say. But this week, I think because so many people have been battering him in the comments, talking to him and stuff, he did post a little post on Twitter. AEW and Ring of Honor action figure news soon. What do you want to see next? So he's dangling that carrot. Ring of Honor figures most likely coming, it sounds like. More AEW figures as well. And maybe he doesn't want to get it all wrapped up in the holiday season because a lot of the news, a lot of things that are announced this time of year are kind of seen and forgotten about with the holidays. So maybe he's waiting for January to kind of show the next wares, see what's going on. We'll see what happens there. But I don't think it is doom and gloom like I said last week. I know a lot of people are saying that. I don't think we're quite there yet, but boy, oh boy, if you're looking for some AEW figures, Ringside's the place to go. You can really fill in some gaps in your collection at a very, very cheap price right now, as you guys know. So there's a little bit of that, but let's move on to a few other wrestling notes this week. It was a tough week for wrestling. Oh, my girl Mandy Rose is gone. Matt Riddle is suspended. Two of my all-time favorites, I shouldn't say all-time favorites, but two of my current-day WWE NXT favorites off the books right now, unfortunately. And old Kyle here, I'm going to Monday Night Raw this Monday, so look for me on TV. I believe I'm in like the second row on the ramp where the guys come out and the gals, of course, too. I'm on the second row there, so you might see me on TV. So wave to me from your screen. Say, hey, there's Kyle, I see him. There you go. You can give me one of those. But tough week for wrestling, but we do get some more wrestling figure news this week. Old Zombie Sailor coming in hot this week. We talked about it last week. Well, the pre-order is officially up right now for the Johnny Gargano Zombie Sailor Retro figure. Speak now or forever hold your peace. He's got to get all of his pre-orders in, and that's it. They'll never have Johnny ever again because obviously he is back with the WWE. So it looks like a really good figure. If you're interested in it, go to Zombie Sailor. Pick that one up right now. I also did get my shipping notice on Thursday evening for the Jeff Jarrett Retro. Our about 2-year wait, it seems like, is about over. So we are getting our Jeff Jarrett figures here very, very soon. So we'll probably have that next week in weekly purchases. So stay tuned for that one. But very interesting. And then Zombie Sailor, the final thing about him this week, he did show the Roadkill figure, ECW's Roadkill. It'll be interesting if that comes out in 2023 or not. Really feel like I need a Danny Doring retro to go along with that one. It just feels incomplete, at least to me, in my old ECW brain. But Roadkill apparently is coming to Zombie Sailor for those that are interested in him. We also talked about it last week, but we got tons of glamour shots. He is up for pre-order on Ringside Collectibles, as always. Discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. Minoru Suzuki Storm Collectibles. Not as toyetic as the Hollywood Hogans, the Hogan figures we had, the Liger figures, of course, but still very cool, and I absolutely do love the Storm Collectible wrestling figures. I say it all the time. Get me an LOD. Get me an LOD Storm Collectibles. Get me Great Muta. I'll take any of the guys. There's a lot of good figures they could end up making, so hopefully one day soon we'll get some more Storm wrestling figures, but Minoru Suzuki in the right direction, so we got him to pre-order. You can also pre-order the Chase White version, so he's got two versions going on, so I think that is pretty cool as well. So if you're into Suzuki, get after it right now. We also saw Rush Collectibles. Rush, as we know, we've talked about over the last month or so, tons and tons of announcements, never really had anything in our hand. Well, they did announce another toy line, another wrestling figure toy line. It is the Wrestlers, Wrestlers toy line. And they basically do look like Super 7 reaction figures. One of those figures that look better on card than off card, I would say. But Zbyszko's going to be the first one there. Not really sure what to think about those. That is an easy pass for me, but if you're into that style of figures, you're into that kind of stuff, Rush Collectibles sounds like they'll have it. But we do know the Wrestling Trader guys that have taken over the Cella line, and we do know Cella was working with Rush Collectibles, so it's been a little bit of a weird drag there, and it sounds like Wrestling Trader says they haven't been in touch with the Rush Collectibles guys, so I don't know where that retro is. I don't know where that's all going to. A lot of things really do seem to be up in the air still, so I guess we'll see as time goes on how that all ends up checking out. But if you need a Wrestlers Larry Zbyszko, man oh man, Rush is going to be your place to go. We also saw this week from Amazon, as we see with a lot of things of Amazon. If you're a person that orders a lot on Amazon, you pre-order a figure and then all of a sudden you get an announcement. Maybe it's a day later, maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month, whatever it is, that, hey, this was supposed to come in April, but now it's coming next week. And that's what we got this week with the Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman 3-pack. That was supposed to come in April. Sounds like it's coming to everybody right now through next week if you already had this on pre-order. So it looks like next week I will have that in my hands as well. Got to finish off off the top 10 list to finish off the year. We're going to do a WWE Elite Top 10. We're going to do an AEW Top 10. You've already seen a lot of other ones on the channel, but we have a lot of year-end best of lists come on the channel. So make sure you do subscribe, and I guess we'll get this one unboxed and see if any of those 3 are contenders for top 10 of the year. We'll see, but if you ordered that, check your Amazon. You might have that shipping to you ASAP, so very cool there. Moving on from wrestling into some other things, how about some Masters of the Universe news this week? An interesting one, as they did announce a single-carded Space Sumo from the Sunman line as a Mattel Creations exclusive. A bit of a head-scratcher there because it is basically identical to the Target 3-pack version, but on a single card. And we got to be honest, we got to take that business step back. We got to look ourselves in the mirror, and we do know the Sunman line doesn't hold a candle to the Masters Universe line. It's just proven facts that a lot more people know Masters Universe. Masters a lot more popular. Of course, they have folded that license into the Masters Universe line, but Space Sumo is a Mattel Creations exclusive. I think a lot of people are scratching their head on this one. I guess the good thing for a lot of people is it did not sell out right away, especially for somebody like me who, for whatever reason, I thought that went up for pre-order on Friday at like 11 a.m. my time. And all of a sudden yesterday, somebody was saying, well, I got my Space Sumo. I'm like, what? I went there and apparently it went up for pre-order on Wednesday. So I was already 24 hours late to my pre-order on that. Luckily, there was still there. As of filming this, still up there. So not a lot of people looking for Space Sumo. I think that makes sense if you take that business step back. Not a lot of people have a place in their heart for Space Sumo, I think is the problem there. But if you need it, Mattel Creations is a place to go. It'll be interesting. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll unbox it. Of course, we'll compare it to everything else when we get to it. So more to come on that one in very future channel video here. We also saw some carded images of the next wave of Mattel Masters Universe Origin figures. We got Tongue Lasher, a little Snake Man action. We got Snake Armor Roboto, a very easy repaint. We did see Snake Armor Skeletor, and we did see, once again from this Sunman line, Hypno. So 4 figures there. I don't know if that line's going to set the world on fire. I shouldn't say that line, that wave. Tongue Lasher, to me, is going to be the one I want the most. We'll see how those guys are, but those will be coming early Q1 2023. So for those keeping track at home. How about moving into a little bit of NECA news this week? Some announcements from NECA, some stuff that we knew was coming. We got some pretty pre-order images, and you guys know I'm all in on most of these things here. We did get Phantom of the Opera, old school Lon Chaney edition. Very, very cool. I mean, it looks like it just stepped right out of the movie. Very, very cool sculpting. We absolutely love, me, and my dad too. I'll count my dad into this. We love the Universal Monsters, the horror stuff from NECA. So I will be picking this one up. I gotta be honest though, Phantom of the Opera, one of my least favorite of the bunch, of all the classic monsters, one of my least favorite ones here. But Lon Chaney looking really good. Excited to see that one in figure form here at the table. We also saw one of my favorite bands, a band I've seen a few times, a band I've got everything from their albums. I really do like the Jerry Only version, but of course the Glenn Danzig version is my favorite version of all time. Don't get me started on Michael Graves. Michael Graves doesn't do a whole lot for me. Who am I talking about? You guys know. I'm talking about the Misfits. The Misfits Fiend action figure. We've had Christmas Fiends, we've had different Fiends, but we're getting another one from NECA here. Very cool. It comes with little paper, like album covers. I think that is a really nice touch. Different heads, different hands, all the usual bells and whistles we get with NECA. It's going to be a day one buy for me, I think, as well. I really do like the looks of this thing. Very, very cool. And this is a crossover figure. Some people can buy it for their horror collection, some Misfit fans, some like me that like both. You're all in there. So we do got some Misfits action coming. And then one we saw sculpt for last week, we did get an announcement this week, is NECA this time of year always gives us kind of a poster, an online poster calendar. And there's always some Easter eggs in there. Well, we did see from the Turtles movie, we did see Kino and Scooter. Kino very much requested by a lot of people. And I think they threw the Scooter in because there wasn't really a 2-pack I think that they thought could make sense. I don't know. For whatever reason, I think this is pretty cool. And I think that Scooter could cross over into other toy lines, so that'd be a good one to have. So I think it'll help this Kino sell even more. But a lot of people want Kino in their collection, so I can see this one being a very, very good seller. So I got to assume that is coming hopefully soon in 2023. It'll be interesting if it ends up as a Walmart exclusive or how the distribution goes on that one. I guess once again, as usual, let's stay tuned for that. Much more to come. Moving into Knucklebones, we talked about these. It sounds like they're finally going up for pre-order. Knucklebones music heavy metal statues. You guys know I love these. I would buy a heck of a lot more of these if I actually had room for them, but we are getting Black Sabbath, of course, Bill Ward, Ozzy Osbourne, Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi, playing all the hits right there. So I love me some old school Sabbath. But you know what? The Dio Sabbath is right there for me too. I like both versions. I go back and forth, and the Dio Sabbath is one of the most underrated albums or set of albums of all time, if you ask me. But very cool. If you're into the Sabbath and you want those, man, pick these up. I want them so bad, but I just can't pull the trigger. I can't pull the trigger. So there you go. We also saw some Star Wars this week. We haven't talked a ton of Star Wars on the channel. Not a lot of you guys are really interested into Star Wars, is what I have found out. But I do dabble still. I still dabble. You guys see it from time to time. So we did see a Gaming Greats RC1262 building out those troopers, another GameStop exclusive. I'll be picking this one up, but as usual, I play that long game over there on those GameStops. They're always plentiful. I'll just play a little of that long game. I'll get him below retail. That's my plan there. And then reuse. How many times am I going to send this guy out? But I do love it. And this Gundam Ahead could be my favorite Star Wars figure we've ever received in the Black Series. It is the Gamorrean Guard, obviously looking like a big pig. Just a very, very cool figure. And like I said, it's been released many times. Well, it's coming back out again on the Return of the Jedi card. So if you missed it in the past, you got another chance to get this one. An absolute fabulous figure. One of my favorite figures of the last 10 years, probably. Just a very cool one. I'm tempted to get another one. I have two in my collection. I might get one of these, and it's a good way to army build these guys, too, if you needed to. So the Gamorrean Guard coming in hot this week is up for pre-order, Return of the Jedi style. How about we turn our attention over to a little Marvel Legends, and Marvel Legends, no stopping them, of course. A lot of stuff going on with Marvel Legends. We get another Amazon exclusive this week. It is Ronan the Accuser, Amazon exclusive. A lot of people complaining about that $38.99 price point. Here's my pro tip. Take notes. Pre-order it, you get it, it comes in. It might go cheaper before release date. We do see that. You saved $1 because it became cheaper before release date. So you might have that. But then you buy it, and then you got like 2 months. And somewhere in that 2 months as of release, a lot of the times it goes much cheaper. Well, when it goes much cheaper, order another one. Take it back at the old price. I do that all the time with Amazon. You just got to be a little bit organized, but you got to get a deal out there. And I guarantee this Ronan the Accuser you'll be able to get for $30, maybe a little bit farther down the line. Or play that really long game, maybe you'll get a really good deal then. But a very cool one, a little bit more of a deluxe one, but a lot of people are arguing that point. But I am here for this. I will pick this one up. I did pre-order this one. And we did know this one. This one kind of got leaked a while back as we talked about it with the Blob maybe a month ago here on the channel. But it's officially up for pre-order on Amazon if that is your thing. And then one that really set the world ablaze this week. And boy, the verdict's still out on this one for me too. I may end up passing on this set, or I may play the long game. It's going to be one or the other, or I'll buy it the minute I see it. Who knows? It could be that way too. But it is Into the Spider-Verse. We did see a new trailer from the Into the Spider-Verse movie. I thought it was an okay movie. My kids absolutely loved it. That is their favorite comic book, superhero, whatever we want to call it, movie of all time. So I'm sure I will be seeing this one. But we did get a toy line from this, and it looks a little bit suspect. The proportions are all over the place. As in the past, we've used traditional Marvel Legends style figures, body molds, proportion molds. This seems to be breaking all the rules and going all crazy with different kind of interpretations. And a lot of people don't like that. But I go back and forth on that. I also don't like that because I want everything kind of uniform. But at the same time, the proportions are weird in the animation. They are different. That's what they're reflecting in these figures. So you can't fault that either. So to me, it's either something you can easily pass on, or you buy it and it's just a standalone corner of a shelf here with here's my Spider-Verse stuff. I'm not going to intermingle it with everything else. But it's your rules, it's your collection, you can do what you want. But I know a lot of people will be passing on this one right now, as of now, and it probably will change. I'm playing a little of that long game. I'll wait for a deal, get a sale, pick those up. But leaked images are out there, nothing official from Hasbro yet. I'm sure January maybe we'll get something a little bit more official. And I don't think the movie comes out till like June. So it could be an Eternals situation where we saw Eternal figures a year before they were actually released, if you guys remember that. Who knows if that'll be the case here, but very interesting. But I guess we'll just hang tight and wait for Hasbro to give us some official announcements of what the heck is going on with these figures. But a very controversial line, it seems to be, with those guys there. The final bit of toy news, as I look at my list right here, we got the Naughty or Nice Collection Part 2 from Big Bad Toy Store. Of course, Big Bad Toy Store. Support the channel. Use the link in the description below. But we're getting the second wave of Santa, elves, things like that. these will be shipping in Christmas of 2023. Now, the Naughty or Nice Wave I've talked about on the channel before. We talked about when they went up for pre-order. I did just unbox Father Christmas on the channel this week, and we talked about them there. Well, Big Bad Toy Store said, hey, guess what? They're in stock. So I have mine shipping. I should have these, I think, Monday, maybe a couple days here. So Naughty or Nice versions 1, I'll have those. I'm going to see how I feel about those, and that'll decide if I get any more out of Series 2. But obviously, Series 1, to me, had a lot of better figures in it, but Series 2 coming in somewhat hot. There's an interesting one of kind of more of a zombie type, I don't know, zombie, but kind of a killer looking Santa. He's got the red eyes, looking all scary, looking all mean. You got a couple of nutcrackers, a couple of elves, of course, of different varieties. You got a blue Santa suit Santa. You got a lumberjack Santa. You got a mall Santa with a cigarette, all that kind of stuff. Very stereotypical mall Santa, I guess. And then you got the Naughty or Nice Storm the Capitol version of Santa, where he stormed the Capitol with his bear rug hat going on. Looking really good there as well. That's the one I'm leaning towards getting. I kind of look the looks of that one with the big bear head. It looks like a mean, tough Santa. I'm here for that. And I spent a lot of time with Santa this week, especially if you saw my figure hunt on the channel this week. I sat down with Santa. Santa pulled me to the side, said, hey, I look forward to visiting with you every single year, Kyle. So some stuff never changes. All the way back from when I was like 2 years old, Santa always enjoyed his time with me. Well, he comes to still enjoy his time with me, as I saw in that video. And you can see me in the video. He pulled me to the side and said, hey, tell the photographer to get an extra copy of this. I want one for my personal collection. So Santa, I know you're watching. Good old Santa out there. And Naughty or Nice collection is going to be an interesting one. And we'll probably try to review those next week on the channel. I should have them Monday, Tuesday. We got to get after them. We got to have those reviewed before Christmas, don't we? So stay tuned for those on the channel sooner than later. And we'll see what happens with Naughty or Nice too. Right now I'm looking for a Storm the Capitol Santa. I think that's going to be the one I'm picking up. But we'll see. We'll see what's happening there. Now we finish up Toy News of the Week, Action Figure News of the Week with a little album of the week. And we are in the holiday season. I'm not a big Christmas music guy, but we're going to throw one out there this week. And this is one of the best Christmas albums of all time. And it was released just maybe in the last couple of years. It is the Cheap Trick Christmas album. All the standards on there, some good deep cut Christmas tracks. Cheap Trick never disappoints. One of my all-time favorite bands. Rockford, Illinois representing. I'm headed through Rockford in February. I'm going to try to go see all the Cheap Trick sites while I'm there. I've never been to Rockford. I've always wanted to go. Not missing a lot is what I've heard, but it'll be worth going through one time at least. But Cheap Trick Christmas album, if you never heard it, check that one out. That is the album of the week this week. So there it is. There's all the action figure. There's all the toy news as we lead up to Christmas. Next week, we'll have a Christmas Eve edition, so stay tuned for that one. And as always, make sure you like this video. You made it this far. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bells. We got videos every single day. Don't forget about the Patreon for early access to toy news, weekly purchases, and all the other videos on the channel. You get those days, weeks, months, years early in some instances. So you get a lot of extra content over there on the Patreon. You also get a part of Q&As, bonus videos, pizza reviews, dog stuff, monthly giveaways, of course, and best of all, you do support the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson, and don't forget to follow along on social media. SirPaul64 is where you're going to find me on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So you know what I'm doing? I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into the weekend, and I'll see you guys all real soon.